Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully you can hear me. Decided to do a live because I want to talk about the unemployment rates increasing amongst Black women or African American women. And the question is, where do we go from here? What do we do next? Yes, I did leave America back in 2020, and I did move to the continent of Africa, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. But that is still my family. I am still Black American, and I am concerned about us as a nation and where do we go from here. So there are several things that we can start doing to um, help ourselves instead of looking for jobs that will that putting us back in the same slavery type of bondage type of system where they're not paying you for what you're worth and you're not being valued for who you are, and it's a slave job. So basically 104% increase in Black women who have been laid off between May and April. And so now we see who the target was. Now we see with all the eliminations of this administration of different programs, we see who the targets are, which we've already, if you are smart, you already knew who the target was. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican. We are always a target for everybody. So we should have known that we would be the target of this new administration's um, cutbacks. They don't want us to outgrow them because their um, population is declining. They're not having babies like we are in the States. And so they're afraid that we will eventually outnumber them, which we will. And then they don't want us to be in a position financially for us to be able to surpass them, not only in number, but in economics too, which us together, we make up a lot of the economy with our spending power. So, um, and they're saying we are 13% or even 14%. We're more than that, family. We're more than 13 or 14% in America. Black people are more than that. Go back and do your research. I think I did a video on our birth rate, the truth about our birth rate. So go back through my channel and look at that video. Yes, we are more than 13 and 14%. We'll possibly maybe at maybe 40, 50%. Like, I'm for real. I think we are that high, but we're just concentrating in certain areas because economically, with the redlining and everything else, they still keep us down. They won't hire us for certain positions. And now, with the federal jobs being eliminated, that was a lot of us, a lot of Black women worked in the with the federal government, men too. So, but the Black male or man unemployment rate is only decreased by increased by like 1%. So it's not as many as with the Black American women. So what do we do? Where do we go from here? Family, where do we go from here? Do we start looking for another job? Do you think that's going to solve the problem when they're laying us off at high numbers? No, that's not going to solve the problem. We shouldn't be trying to look for another slave job or working for your enemies. You should be trying to create jobs by creating a business, learning to be self-sufficient, as well as maybe helping your community. So I know back when Target and Walmart was beefing with us and accepting DEI, and we decided to boycott them. There was a list online going around of Black businesses. So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, what we could do is we could just reach out. Hey, Deborah. Hey, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the businesses and where you should go when they were boycotting Target and Walmart and certain different places, right? I think that it would be a good idea for a lot of the sisters who have been laid off to use their skills, talents, abilities, education, and everything they have, their resources, everything, and either create a company of their own and or work with a Black owned company. So if there's a Black owned business, a lot of Black owned businesses, they can connect with those companies or those businesses to see if they need help. They may not be able to make what they make, normally, but at least they'll be, giving back, and at least they'll be grouping with their own people. And these small businesses, they may need people in certain areas, but maybe at a time that maybe they couldn't afford to, or maybe they didn't know anybody to do certain things, because our people have a lot of education, a lot of skills, a lot of experience to where they could contribute and really help build up a small business, a Black owned business. So instead of them going online, updating their resumes, I see a lot of sisters online saying, oh, I got laid off my job and I've been updating my resume and haven't been getting any calls. Well, that is a good thing to do if you get the list of Black owned businesses and, go through the list. And if they're in your area, go visit. Or if they're, call them and say, do you need any help? Because 9 times out of 10, if they hire you, they won't fire you just because you're Black, if it's Black owned. It'll be based on merit and based on the job that you're doing or whatever. It would be a little bit more fair. So if you are not in a position to where you can create your own business or your own company, then you could, work for another Black owned business. It could be like a farm. It could be a Black farm, Black farmers. They may need some type of marketing. They may need some engineer, or they may need different people with the skills that our people have. And so it would be better for them to work for somebody Black than try to go and beg another white person for a job and try to compete in this job market, which is not good right now. The job market is not really good right now. So that's something that I was thinking about. That's why I decided to do this live, because I'm like, I know I'm just one person. I don't have a major, channel. It's like not that big, but word of mouth does get around, and it does spread to where we can try to come up with solutions to try to help our sisters. Because I know some of them in the videos, they're saying they feel lost. They've been on this job for like 20 years or 16 years or whatever. And their whole hope was in that company or on that job. And then they ended up getting laid off and discarded like they were nothing. Hello, welcome, John Henry. Welcome. Shalom, shalom. Collaboration is major. Can you guys hear me okay? If you guys hear me okay, put a 1 in the chat for me. Put a 1 if you hear me okay. But collaboration definitely is the key. Collaboration is the key. And also I was thinking, okay, thank you, John Henry. Welcome to the chat. Yes, so that was on my mind, and that's the reason why I decided to do this live, because I'm like, what can our sisters do? Where do they go from here? Because trying to update your resume, and I've been seeing videos, and I've been watching some of them. How they've been doing the videos that I got laid off my job or I got fired from my job, and so I've been watching a lot of them, and a lot of them are like, well, I'm updating my resume and I'm sending my resume out. You're welcome. And I haven't got any calls. I haven't got any emails. I haven't got any hits. I'm on Indeed, and I'm on this, and I'm on, LinkedIn, and I haven't got any kind of response. Well, maybe it's because you need to start doing something for you and stop asking these companies to hire you. Because at the end of the day, they can do you like they just did you. They can fire you just like when they hired you. You can do one little thing and then they could just fire. So what's going to be more sustainable is if you did get laid off your job as a Black woman, you could create a company. You could, whatever gifts, talents, abilities, experience you have, build on that. Whether you're online, you can do some social media stuff, maybe, whatever you're good at, whatever skills you have. And if you are not, you can't think of like a business or whatever, then, like I said, there is a list of Black businesses. There is a list of Black companies that was going around online for when we were boycotting Target and we were boycotting Walmart and all those different companies that rejected DEI. They had a list that they were circulating of all Black businesses. You can go through that list, go through that Black business list and call them. Do you need any assistance? I'm available. You may have to volunteer a little bit of your time just to, get some other experience or maybe help them out. And then they can help you. If it's a business, they can give you, they may have an incentive for you if they can't pay you what you, yes, yes. Women's products are top 10 for all products and revenue. That's right, John Henry. 8886. That's right. So these are just some ideas I was thinking. That's why I decided to do the live, because I was like, sisters, you can do so much now that you're free. Our sisters just don't know. They don't need to feel bad because they're actually free. They were enslaved. And so now they're free. So, yeah. So I think that now that they're free, they can actually pursue their own dreams, desires, aspirations, goals. We all have dreams and desires and aspirations, but a lot of times we can't pursue them because we're working for someone else. We're giving all of our blood, sweat, and tears to another company that does not appreciate us, that does not respect us. They don't even be wanting us there. So yes, we need the money. And yes, the money it helped us get where we need to be. But now they let you go. Now it's time to think about yourself. Build up your own something for you and your family to be self-sufficient. You may not have the money to get land, or you may not own a house or land or whatever, but you can start off by trying to create something for yourself. And so, create something for yourself, and or that list is very important. Get a list. If you know anybody, any Black woman that got laid off, or even men, that list is you can, okay, that list, you can go through that list one business at a time and call them. They Black, hey, sister, I'm unemployed right now, and I wanted to see if you need me to, if you need any help with this in this department. So if you have skills in IT or what do you call it, tech, or marketing, or hospitality, or cooking, or whatever skills you have, you can you can go through that list of Black companies, see if they're hiring and if they need your skills. Also, the farmers, all the farmers, they say it's only 1%, but that's enough for us to call to ask if they need anything. Yes, John. Yes, John Henry. 8886. Oil, body butters, candles, soaps, professional organ. Yes, I'm going to list some. Yes, exactly. That is what I'm saying. So I see them in their online, and they're saying like, I updated my resume because they want to make that same amount of money that they was making at the other company, which it's probably going to be difficult to get that same amount of pay. It's going to be difficult for them to get the same amount of pay. So why don't they just reach out to their own people and see if they can work together to help each other? Because some of the skills that our sisters may have, some of those small businesses may need that assistance, may need those skills. Yes, we free. That's right. We free now to make us rich. We free now to focus on us. We've been, some people look at it like it's a curse. Some people look at it like it's a horrible thing. And I know you caught off guard. People, they let you go from your federal job or whatever company you work for, and you feel, a lot of the sisters said they felt lost. But it's the opportunity for you to focus on you and your family and our community. So your next gig or your next job should be enriching yourself financially, and or helping our Black businesses to enrich themselves. Yes, it is. When one door closes, another door will open. John Henry. Sometimes, John Henry 886, 8886. Sometimes, like you said, when one door closes, another door opens for us. So I'm looking at 104% increase of unemployment. The unemployment rate increased from April and from April to May at 104% for Black women. So we know who the target was. Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. So at this time, guess what it's time for us to do? To start building us another Black Wall Street, to build us another Rosewood, to build us another this. I mean, for me, I'm over in Africa, so I'm just speaking when I say us, I mean Black women. But I mean, I recommend, if they could, I would say try to do something in business over here. But if people don't want to leave, and I get it, they don't want to leave the state. So if you're going to stay there, at least try to work with your brothers and sisters in their businesses, their companies. If you need a job, call them. Go through the list and call the Black businesses so you can see if they need you for something. It is, yeah, I think it's best internationally, but so many people don't want to leave. So I'm trying to provide solutions for those who, whether they stay or go. We could, because if you come over here, you create a business, you're going to be, investing in the African continent. So, yep. Over here, you can do it over here. It's going to be, I think, a little more difficult over here because you're trying to make your USD and you're trying to, but you can do it over here. It's just the market over here is different, and selling stuff is a little bit different over here. Garments, like say, if you were to come here to try to sell garments, you wouldn't sell many because it's so many locals that do that. So you just have to come over here and find out what the market is like to see what you could sell based on your skills, your abilities, your experience, your education, all those things wrapped up in one. You could come over here on the continent and look around and see, let's see what they need. And then as you're here visiting, moving around, you're like, okay, they don't have this. I could do that. I don't see that they have this. I can do that. That's the type of thing you need to do here. It's hard to think of a business that you want to have on a continent and then just try to implement it without visiting and seeing what they need, because doing business over here is kind of tricky. It's tricky, and it's a lot different from the US, because the US, a lot of stuff is regulated. It's not regulated over here like that. That's true, but think about the shipping. John Henry 8886. Look at the because of the tariffs and stuff like that, things are going to be a lot more expensive. So some people may prefer not to be shipping stuff because of the tariffs and stuff, and because of the way things are going with the shipments and everything. And then you ship it from one country to the next. You don't know if they beefing with America, if Trump beefing with them. So you got to take all of that in consideration when you're talking about shipping stuff. So I will recommend, maybe, if, unless you got a really good shipping set up, it's going to be difficult with the shipping because of the enemies being made, because of people falling out with the new administration. So you trying to ship to a country and they may be real strict on you because of what's going on. So you got to take that into consideration. So right now, the way things are going is so unpredictable. It's probably best to try to get something in the country that you're in. So if you're in the States, try to do something, maybe do something online. If you do some online stuff, then you can at least travel and still do your business online, do work online or whatever. Or if just try to set something up for yourself instead of sending your resume around thinking people are going to hire you. Black people, it's going to be hard for them to get hired because they already fired us in large numbers, and the competition is going to be ridiculous. And, everybody in the new administration is focusing more on white is right. So it's going to be hard for us to be trying to get into these corporate jobs and into these corporate companies. So we're going to have to start focusing on our own skills and focusing on the Black-owned. Shoot, I wish that a lot of us would get with the Black-owned farmers. Like, those farmers got all that land. They need help with stuff. I'm sure that they can use the assistance of some of these sisters who are very smart and bright, got all these skills and experience, CEOs and chairmen and all this, that they could help manage some of these Black companies. So this is a lot. This is just something that I wanted to share on this live stream. It was just heavy on my heart because I'm like, it's so wrong. It's so wrong how they're doing our sisters. But then again, it's for a reason and it's releasing us. So we're being released, even though, because there are some people who said they really didn't like the job, but they kept it because of the money. So now they're free. They're free. They've been released and now they can, do other things. They could pursue their passions. I mean, because they got passions, they got desires and dreams and things that they want to do. And it feels good to be able to live the rest of your life doing what you are passionate, doing, creating things that you always wanted to create and all that. So that should be the focus, I think, for our sisters instead of trying to update the resume to get another a job from one of these white race soldier companies that ain't gonna treat you right, ain't gonna talk to you right. I mean, they getting so emboldened now, calling you the N-word left and right, being disrespectful left and right. You don't want to be working around them people, and you don't want to be dealing with them people if you can help it. So it's probably best to try to get a job in a black owned company, and then go from there and help build that company up if you're not able to do something for yourself. And in the meantime, while you're working for them, maybe you can get ideas and they can help you. And then you can think of stuff that you can do on the side, like a side business for yourself. Whether it's online, a lot of people are online on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that. But then I get it. Some people are not, on video people online. They don't like to be like online in front of the camera. There are people who have channels that are like faceless channels, or they just show like cooking, or they just play music, or they'll just talk, or it's certain things that you can do where you don't always have to show your face if that's something that you don't want to do. Because I get it. Some people are like camera shy. They don't want to show their face. So I get that part. But it's something that we have to look into outside of just updating your resume to find you another job. Because you're going to be looking for a job. Sister's going to be looking for a job for a long time, because it's not a lot of jobs left. He's getting rid of the administration is getting rid of the jobs, and then AI is coming in. AI is taking a lot of the jobs too. So even here internationally, a lot of the sisters used to do where they do tutoring. So AI is they have this tutor thing now. They have this AI tutor. So I see it advertised on all these channels, even mine, AI tutor. So that AI tutor is going to take the place of human beings for tutoring. So it's a lot of people that are they travel. They're what do you call those? Nomadic. They're nomadic and they travel, but they work online. So they might teach English or whatever. But it could come where they're like not wanting to use these people, and they want to use the AI computer to teach them instead. And so, and they might make it cheaper for them to use the AI than them to use a regular human being. So even with that, it's a lot of jobs being cut out due to AI. So yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, sisters can do so much now. They're basically set free. They're set free from their jail sentence, even though they were getting paid. But the disrespect and the treatment of how we're treated in the U.S. I don't miss that at all. So being here in Tanzania, 5 years in July, and I don't regret it. I don't miss race soldiers, white supremacy, and all that stuff, and racism and all that. I don't miss any of that, and I don't even experience that here. So, and for me, I haven't been. I've been working for myself, so I created a company. It's small, but can you imagine if my company is small and if I had people calling me like, do you need me to do anything to help you out? I'm just looking at it from a small business perspective as a woman. And I have, our people saying, you need anything me to help you? I mean, I'm free because I don't have a job right now, whatever. And stuff like that. That would be helpful for small businesses if they had our own people willing to say, do you need me? Do you have someone to do this for you? I can help you with this. It's going to get back to that point where we need each other, just like how we built Black Wall Street and Rosewood and all those other communities. We built those because we didn't have a choice. It was just that we needed to have things. We had our own lawyers, teachers, doctors, everything. We didn't have an option to be running to white people asking them to do it when we had our own communities. It's going to get back to that point because they're trying to get us out. So we may as well start trying to look within and trying to help each other, help ourselves, and help each other, because we all have something that we can contribute to the economy, to a business, to enriching our own lives, whether it's online or some people have land and, yes, that's Africa in a nutshell. Yes, our own everything. That's right. That's that's what we should be focusing on. I know we haven't been taught that, in school we've been taught how to be good employees. We haven't been taught how to be like self-employed and to be your own boss and have your own. We were not taught that. We were taught to go to school, get a degree so you can work for somebody else until you retire. Never encouraged to be self-sufficient, have your own business, buy you some land, put you something on the land. Like, never been taught that. So a lot of us started thinking about that later in life. Even me, because, later in life now, I'm just thinking about all this. I wish I would have had this mindset in my 20s, because I would probably have so much more, at least, property that I could have sold before I came here. Because I still would have left. I still would have left, whether it was then or now. Yeah. And it's the best decision that I have ever made, to leave America and move to Africa. Just have to make sure that you select the right country that will, it has everything that you need for you to be comfortable and happy and successful and at peace and all that good stuff. So you just have to make sure that you select the right country for you. So it may take, for some people, it may take a couple of visits to different countries to see which one resonates with them. So, but if people could do that, that would be good. Like all these women, imagine if these 104% women that got, laid off, if they decided to travel, that would be a lot of the economy. Like, they would decided to travel and bring their money outside or do business outside of America. They would think twice about laying off all of their excellent talent, because that's what it is. It's excellent talent, because we've always been pushed to be the best. We always had to be better than our counterparts. We always had to be smarter. And so it just made us a better, all around, a better, stronger human being. So we would be more of an asset to other countries if we decided to leave and relocate and move to any country, for that matter, Africa and any other country that we decide to go to, Thailand, Asia, somewhere over there in Mexico and El Salvador. I don't know if they want to go to El Salvador, but yeah, the Latin countries, so we would be an asset wherever we go, because we have like the experience, we have the education, we could really be helpful over here on the continent, but it's just harder to get things set up. So, but it's possible. Look at all the people in Ghana, look at all the people in Kenya. You got a good amount of people in Tanzania, so, and South Africa. So we're doing things. We're coming out of there. Some people had to unfortunately lose their job to wake up to say, man, I probably should have left before I got, laid off my job. Then I could have planned. Now I'm kind of, caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm kind of like caught off guard. I was caught off guard, So it's never too late, though. If they have the resources and they want to come out, they could still do that, to still come out. And if anyone's interested in Tanzania, you can hit me up at diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I'll put my email address in the comment section. And if you wanted to visit or do business, interested in trying to relocate, I can share my experience and advice on how to do it, how to go about it, etc. So that's kind of what I do. And that's the business that I did create, a consultation business, which most of us are doing that. Most of us who have left the West and moved to Africa, we're doing that. So basically, we're sharing our experience and walking people through the steps that we took to have been here as long as we have. So, um, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do this live video about. I wanted to kind of encourage our sisters because of this alarming increase in the African American Black women's unemployment rates. 104. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I know it was in the federal government. A lot of Black women, they work for the federal government, and so a lot of them were working there. So, but hopefully they put themselves in a position where they invested some money or they saved something, or they got land and they're able to like at least plant fruit and vegetables and maybe sell them or at least feed themselves, and something that they have done something that they can kind of utilize until they figure out what they're going to do. It may take some to just sell everything and move away. Sell everything and just take the money and move away. And move to a place where the value of the US dollar is still strong. Like Uganda is still, the value of the USD is still strong in Uganda, and it's still strong in Tanzania. For every one USD, it's like 2,600 T shillings. And I think in Uganda, it's like for every one USD, it's like almost 3,000 of the money there. I forget the currency that they have in Uganda. But the currency conversion rate is really good. But it's getting to a point where it's not as good in some of the popular places like Kenya and Ghana and South Africa. It's like it's the value of the US dollar is really going down in those countries that you can really see it, feel it. So, but Tanzania is still pretty good. All praises to the Most High. It's still pretty good. So our little bit of our monies can still go pretty far over here. So we can still do a good amount of things and live a better life here than we would in the U.S. So for me right now, I'm in a 2-bathroom apartment. My rent is $200 a month. It's nowhere in the U.S. I could, not even for a room can I get for $200 a month. So I'm feeling pretty grateful right now. I mean, considering what's going on in the U.S. where people are living in their cars and vans and storage units and stuff like that. Yeah, I feel grateful. I do feel grateful. And I'm actually glad that I left when I did, because now I'm looking back on what's going on right now in America. Yes, Tia Kofi. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. Yes, that is. And I have people that I know who had a house. They had a house. It was a little further out than where I am, because the further you're out from the city, the cheaper it's going to be. And so they had a house for like $175, and they had like 3 or 4 bedrooms. So, but keep in mind that here in Tanzania, everybody don't speak English. So the further you are away from the major city, the less English they speak. So you do have to know some Swahili if you want to move out further, unless you live with people that can, like in the house with you, that have been here and they speak Swahili. So when you're going out and around and shopping and, all that, you have somebody to help you out. Yeah, you can have a driver. A lot of us have our personal drivers, and they help too, but some of them don't speak English very well. Like my driver does not speak English very well, but I speak a little Swahili, so he can understand me. He's learning English being around me. But for the most part, I still have to use my Translate app. So I carry Google Translate on my phone. And if I'm trying to talk to him and he don't understand, then I just have to type it in the Translate app and then let him read it. So it's a tool that you can use if you're in a country where the first language is not English. So it's a Google Translate, and it'll translate English to Swahili and Swahili to English. So they say something or you say something, you can convert it back and forth. And also you need that currency converter, so you'll know the money. You got to know the money when you moving around and buying food, and everything you buying is in T shillings. It's not in USD, so you have to know the currency conversion rate. So, yep. So, yeah, but everything is well. Yes, Google Translate is an excellent app. I always recommend Google Translate and Google currency conversion. You don't really need to have an app for that. You just put you can put currency converter in Google, and it'll pull up for you. And then you just put, like, Swahili English or English Swahili. It'll show you two. So you put like US first, and then Swahili, and it'll show you number one. For $1 is this many. So you just stick with that. So whenever you want to go to like, you want to know about money, how much is it in T shillings? You just push that amount. Say, how much is 200,000 T shillings? You put that in there, and it'll tell you how much it is in US dollars. So it is excellent to have that Google Google currency conversion. That's good to have. It's good to have Uber, because you're riding around in Uber, and Uber here is in English. So Uber is good. And then, it shows it. The Uber app shows the T shilling rate, but it is in English. So you just need to know the T shilling amount. And it regulates the Uber app regulates the cost here, so that you won't be overcharged. So if you get a taxi and you don't use Uber, they'll try to overcharge you because you speak English. So to kind of keep all that down, you have these certain apps in place where you can double check for yourself whether you have someone with you or not. So there are ways that you can check if you're not with someone who speaks Swahili. And even MapQuest, you can use that. So if you're going somewhere, you're going from home to like the mall, you can program that in your phone, in your Google Maps, And so as the driver's driving, it talks and it'll tell you which way he needs to go. So if he's going the long way, or if he ain't going the right way, you can tell him, you can show him, like I have done that. You can show him like your Google Maps and say, look, you need to be going this way. And so it's certain things that you can, certain apps that you can use to make sure to keep you organized and keep you on track, especially if you encounter people who try to be slick with you because they think because you can't speak the language that you're stupid. But that's one thing we had to kind of show people, that just because we don't know Swahili don't mean that we don't have common sense, don't mean that we're not smart, don't mean that we can't tell when you overcharge, and don't mean so don't get it twisted and think because we don't speak Swahili fluently that we don't know when people are talking about us. Sometimes you can sense when people are saying things about you. You just can feel it. Like you looking at them talking, it's something in you. You can just feel like they might be saying something. So we got good intuition, we got good discernment, and I think that's from living in the West. We got some certain skills that help us out of the environment where we're from. So you can still manage. And no matter what I experience here in Tanzania, it's never as worse as it is in the US with the race soldiers. So I can go almost anywhere here. I have went, with wisdom, of course, but like during the day, I could go almost anywhere. I can catch a bus. I could do anything and not feel like somebody's going to hurt me. But I can't say that for the US. Like I would be nervous and scared to drive certain places, and I can't be at night. And it's just, I lived in fear. And I mean, we have to live like that over there because of the sundown towns and all this different stuff. And you don't want to be caught at night by yourself in certain place. Like, it's just too much. Like, you don't get that. You don't get that in Africa. You don't have to worry about that. But of course, you want to use wisdom. You don't want to be out somewhere and this is not your country. You're a foreigner. You don't speak the language. And even if you did, you don't want to be out at night just roaming around. It just wouldn't be safe. So, yeah, but it's the best decision. But yeah, I'm just hoping that I know that we'll survive this because we've been through a lot and we still survive. We're very resilient. I'm not gonna say, they always like the strong Black woman, but we have to be strong. We don't have a choice. Even in situations like this, like all these women laid off their jobs, I'm sure they got kids, they got bills. We have to be strong because we can't fall apart, because who's going to hold everything together, especially if they're like single, who's going to hold things together? So, do we have a choice but to be the strong Black woman? We don't have a choice. We got to, for the kids' sake. If we can't fall apart, what about the children? So, yeah, it'll things will work out. Our sisters just have to figure out where do they go from here. Okay, the layoff. Okay, some of them feel lost, some of them unexpected, some of them shocked. Sometimes they just got to get over the initial feeling of disappointment, sadness, depression, or whatever. And then after they get all that out, then they can think clearly about, okay, how do I plan? What is next? Besides updating the resume and applying for other jobs like the one you just got laid off. These people are not going to be hiring y'all. Yeah. Yep. All the government assistance, food stamps, and Section 8, and all those programs. They saying FEMA, they taking that away, and Medicaid, and everything. Everything. It's going to be back like it was for us in the 50s before integration. It's going to be back like it was for us before integration, because we didn't have all that stuff. But we survived. The thing is, I don't know how white people are going to survive, because they're not used to, because they're the biggest recipients of the food stamps and all these programs. So they never had to live like that. So it's for them, they're going to be falling apart. Yup. Survival of the fittest. That is so right, Tia Kofi. That is so right. So we just got to go back to the old school, a way of how we did things, how we helped each other, how we lived together, how we worked together, how we build together, how we used to do all that stuff before integration. We did all that stuff. It's just that the younger people forgot. They kind of took it for granted, and they didn't do some of them did, but they didn't do their homework to look back, because if you don't know your history, then it can come back and repeat itself. So it looks like things are about to repeat themselves. So you got to think back. How did our ancestors do it? How did our ancestors survive? They did, and they didn't have all these assistants either, but they worked together. They lived together. They took care of each other. They didn't all this fighting amongst each other and all this. We got to stop that. We have to stop that. Because we're going to need each other. People are going to have hungry children, or can't pay the rents and stuff. People are going to be getting evicted. Like, people need each other. So we got to stop all this beefing with each other and arguing with each other. We're going to have to love each other like we're supposed to, and take care of each other, and be there with each other, for each other. We may have to barter. Some people may not have money, but they got something that they could barter with. We may have to do that. Somebody might have rice, and somebody might have vegetables, or somebody might have this, and they may have to barter, because people may not have the money. So we getting back to that point. We are getting back to that point. So yeah. But I just want to come on and do this live, and just put this out there. Like I said, my channel is small, but this is information that will maybe encourage some of the sisters. I feel bad about, hearing the stories of them being laid off. Some of them are recording the layoffs. So they're recording when the company called them and told them this your last day, turn your keys and all this stuff. And it's kind of sad. It is sad. I've seen so many of them, and I'm like, man, this is a lot. But I just didn't know the number until recently. People were talking about like over 100%, 104% of the unemployment rate with the Black women is that high. That's 100%. It's over 100%. It's like most of our sisters have been laid off their jobs. So it's just, yeah, it did something to me. I'm like, man, it's so wrong. It's so wrong, but ain't nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it but just move forward and try to do the best we can with our skills and what we have. And we can't be going to big massing them for nothing, because massing them don't care. They're showing that they don't care. So we got to stop begging them folks for stuff. We got to start standing on our own 2 feet and try to figure out what we can do for us and our people and our nation and our communities. What can we do to better our communities, to protect our communities? That's what we got to start focusing on. Not only delineating from other minority groups, but just starting to live together, to build together, to work together. Somebody got a farm in the community. Everybody chip in together and go help them out. Because at the end of the day, that family in your community with the little farm or the garden, they might be the one feeding you. If things get tight, stores close, that family with that farm or that garden might be the ones keeping you alive. So we got to start thinking of stuff like that, because at the end of the day, them white people ain't going to be looking out for you like that. They're not going to be looking out for us like that. They ain't looking out for us right now. So all we have is each other. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share my views and my thoughts, and my encourage our sisters, if they see this video, encourage them on this live, encourage them to keep their head up and look within, and don't be like down and feel, because sometimes that can make you feel really bad. You've been on this job for all these years, and it was part of your life. Like these people schedule their life around these jobs, and a lot of us did that. All our lives was playing around this job, and then they just let you go like that, like you didn't mean anything. And you've been with these people, you went over these people's house, maybe eating dinner with them and being around these people and their family, and they just drop you like that, and then you just left. So it can emotionally, it can be devastating emotionally. So people need to take time to cry and heal or whatever they need to do, but just know, after all that, and after the smoke clears, and after the tears are gone, and after everything is, then what you gonna do? You gotta have a plan. You can't just cry forever. Okay, can't be crying, sad, hurt, whatever. Okay, you mourn, you get that out, but then what is your plan? You gotta have a plan. You can't just let things fall apart. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to do this live. Thank you so much for the ones who tuned in and who jumped in. I really appreciate it. That's all I really wanted to say. And if anybody had any questions, they could ask me about Tanzania, about relocating, about business, how's it going? I've been here for 5 years in July, and all is well. I love this country. I love it, love it, love it. It's hot here. It is hot, like 80. In the dry seasons, it's between like 86, 87. When the sun is shining, it feels like maybe, I don't know, just late 80s, like 80, 87, 88, something like that. It don't get like in the hundreds or anything, but it's hot. It's hot because the sun it feels different here. And, but we're by the water. So we're around a peninsula here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So we're by the ocean. So you do get a gentle breeze off the ocean. I would say it gives you like a Florida vibe to it, because it's a little gentle breeze off the water. So it's beautiful. And then in the rainy season, it's a little cooler. Rainy season is about to be over, but it rains a lot, like maybe every other day or something like that. But it's cooler. So it can get down to like 70, maybe, yeah, about 70, maybe 69, 70. So I kind of like that weather because it's not as hot. So, but anyway, it's really nice. And in the dry season, you can go to the beach every day. The beach is around a peninsula, and a lot of us live close to the ocean, the Indian Ocean. So you can go all the time and you can just sit by the ocean, and it's just so beautiful. It's peaceful. And so, yeah, I love this country here. And it's a lot of different regions here. So if you want like cold, cooler mountain, you got Arusha, it's Kilimanjaro Mountain, and it's cooler. They have snow at the top of the mountain and stuff like that. It's cooler there if that's what you like. So it's like something for everybody. So, but anyway, yeah, I guess I'll end the stream. I just wanted to do this live real quick and encourage my sisters and talk about this unemployment rate. It's just shockingly high. And it's we shouldn't be surprised that this race soldier white supremacist system, this new administration, we should have known they wasn't gonna be for us. So, but anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video or the next live. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit on the notification bell and double check and make sure if you hit on the notification bell that you check all, because some people are being unsubscribed and some buttons are not being able. People said they were trying to like my video and it wasn't allowing them to like it. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not surprised if something is happening with this YouTube channel. Anyway, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next live or the next video. So have a good day, or have a good, let's see, it's day for you over there in the States. Right now for me, it is 9:04 p.m. So it's evening for me, and it's morning or afternoon. I don't know if it's afternoon for you. It's probably early afternoon for you or something. So, but have a good one, and I will talk to you guys in the next video or live.